Hi everyone, happy end of September. We are closing out the budget for the month. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get started. Hi everyone, welcome back if you've been here before, welcome if you're new. If you're new, my channel is meant to be kind of cozy budgeting and personal finances as I try to get back on track and pay off credit card debt and become debt-free step by step. So I try to make it cozy, I try to make it fun. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, please subscribe, like, and welcome to my channel. So this month we are closing out the budget for September. We are going to be writing in what we actually spent versus what we expected to spend, and we're going to total up the differences there. This month was a little high spend, not gonna lie, but I did make some really good progress in terms of transferring all of my credit card balance from a card with a really high interest rate to a 0% interest card. So that was the main thing this month that was really awesome. But we are going to just see how we spent. And yeah, let's see how that works. So let's write in our actuals here. I expected to earn $6,082 and I did earn that exact amount from my 9 to 5. I work from home. I do like data analysis and stuff like that. So that is my income. A little worried because we're going through a company acquisition right now. So they're going to be reorging everyone and I hope that that doesn't impact me. But we will see how that goes. A little stressful. For my husband, he actually transferred over $1,200 this month. And actually, so for him as well, he was on a contract job and it just ended this week. So yeah, the income for the next couple months is going to be a little bit unpredictable. But I'm sure we will make it through. But that brings our total, my total personal, oh, sorry, and I forgot, I also got a refund from my sister for $200. And that was for, we went out for my sister's birthday and I spent a little too much actually, but we had a lot of fun and she refunded me part of that amount. Anyway, it was my third sister's birthday and my second sister refunded me to help out with that. So let's add it all up here, 6,082. So that's a total income of $7,482. And let me add in the differences from what we expected versus what we earned. So I actually took in $600 more than I earned, and actually I wound up also getting my first sponsorship ever, so that's going to be reflected in one of the upcoming months in my other category, and I'm so excited about that. Yeah, so next let's move on to fixed expenses. For rent and utilities, I actually spent $2,487.22. For internet, we spent $65.22 as expected. For electric, it's finally going down because the weather's cooling off just a little bit, so it's at $240.70. For insurance, we finally got this looked at and it's I still feel like it's high, but it did go down a bit to $330.62 from $391. Not a huge difference, but every little bit helps there. For phones, we're $162 as expected, so let me add this up. That's a total fixed expense of $3,285.76. And this is not including my car payments, which I put under the debt category. And let me quickly do the difference between expected and actual. Okay, awesome. So we actually saved $112.52 based on what I normally spend for fixed expenses, so that is great. And then let me add in the payments here. Okay, so picking back up on where we left off with debts. Okay, so for the first car loan, I did make the payment as expected of $274.91. That leaves the ending balance for the first car at $3,178.41. For car loan number 2, I did the $301.09 payment, and that brings the total balance down to around $18,430. For the balance transfer card number 1, this was on 0%, but it just started charging interest this month, which is annoying. I may see if I can transfer the remaining balance to my new, I need to add a new category. No, this is the new category. I need to transfer to my new 0% card so I can continue to pay it off at a 0% rate. So the total balance, I did pay $200 here. The total balance here is now, let me find it, $28.50 roundabout, including interest. So yeah, I think it would make the most sense to combine debts so that I don't have two separate credit card debts I'm paying off. If I can transfer them both onto one card, to me that would make a lot more sense. So this balance transfer card number 2 is my new Bank of America 0% because I got 0% for 18 months, which is awesome on that. And we will, basically my goal here is to maintain most of my transactions through my checking debit account. And then this, we can just allocate $500 a month to paying off eventually. So that it's like part of the budget, it's coming down, but it's not, most of my transactions will go from being on a credit card to being in cash, which is going to be a huge change for me because the last, 10 years, I've mostly spent through a credit card to get points, but the debt keeps piling up, so it's not a healthy habit and it's kind of a bad cycle. So I'm trying to get off of that cycle and just learn how to use cash and basically budget for savings, budget for debt payoff, and then live within my means for the rest of the month. So that is going to be a real challenge, I think, because we are not used to that spending, like really budgeting in that sense at all. So, but that'll be so exciting once I actually do that. And this is the first step. So right now I transferred over, I wrote 8122. I think it actually transferred over 86 something. I just didn't write that down correctly, and I was budgeting 500. However, we did put money on this card throughout the month, and currently the balance, I paid actually 1,000 onto this card, and now the total balance is $8,385.27. So my total credit card debt added together is way over my comfort zone. It's a really stressful thing for me. So, and especially with like the job instability that's coming up with my husband being in between jobs, he has to look for his next gig or hopefully really great permanent role. And then who knows what's going to happen with my company. I'm a little bit nervous. A lot of people at my company are nervous that we may see some serious layoffs because you can't keep everyone. So I'm a little nervous about all of that. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, things work out. So for the Amex card, I did fully pay this off. The total balance was 1,816. I've completely paid that off, and the current balance is now 0. So now all of my debt, this was like 20 something percent interest rate on debt. All of my debt is now within these 2 cards, and I want to consolidate further and get it all in one card at 0%. That's the goal. I haven't done it that far yet. And now what I really need to do is take this Amex off of all auto payments, because it's linked auto pay to a lot of different accounts. So off of the Amazon account, off of everything. It's going to be kind of a pain, but that is what I have to do this month for sure, or else it's just going to continue to accrue balance. So let me add up all of the ending balances. So that leaves us with a total ending balance of $32,843.68. And let me add this up to the correct balance here. So this was actually $35,029. We paid it down to $32,843. So let me do the differences now. Okay, so we paid off $2,185.32 worth of debt, apparently, so that's good. But this is very stressful for me. Stressful, but we'll get there. Okay, I think next month I'm also going to add a category for the amount left in my checking coming into the month and the amount in my checking coming out of the month. I came into the month with around $900 something in checking, so if there's extra squishiness here, that's probably the reason why. But I do need to update that, I think. So let's get into the variable expenses, which is the most interesting category for me, where we actually spent our money. And this month was high spend, too high. It's over my comfort zone, and so let's just get into it. So we have to clean up the spending before this whole job thing happens. So groceries, I did go under this month. I'm not sure how or why, but I only spent $869.23. My husband covered some groceries. I don't know how that all happened, but we went under this month. For subscriptions, okay, I spent $222.98. That is because I signed up for Costco for the first time ever, so that was $60 for the Costco membership fee. And we got billed for our Amazon Prime renewal fee, which is $139. And my husband is thinking about canceling Prime. I don't know. We do get a lot of use out of it, but it is expensive. So not sure if it's worth it to cancel or not yet. But and then the rest of that was just 2 Prime video channels that I subscribe to because I really enjoy watching British crime shows and international crime shows. I love a good detective show, and Prime has 2 really good channels for that. So that is what that was for. Still really high. Furniture and decor, I didn't budget this out separately. I did go to IKEA. I went to IKEA. So let's do that actually. That in total was $142.79. Again, a bit over budget. I got some picture frames to actually hang up pictures that are just propped against things. I got a pot for the kitchen. I got some other things. Altogether, it was $142. For clothing this month, it's a little challenging, but I think because I went to Target and the majority of that spending was clothing related, even though there are a few items mixed in, I'll just add, instead of trying to split apart that receipt, I'll just add that total receipt to the clothing category. There was a little bit of decor mixed in there too, and there was some other things later that kind of add into that, but I'll put that all under here. So that Target trip was $143.29. For the kids' school, I actually spent $60 on school lunch money, renewing the school lunch money in their accounts. For kids' fun, I'm just going to attribute $100 to this. I think all these categories, because like Target is a transaction that's mixed, we spent stuff on Amazon that's like all things combined together. It might be easier for me to just like budget per store or something like that, because I'm not sure, but splitting out all of the transactions that are on the same receipt is so complicated. But for kids' fun, we got my daughter some craft supplies. We got my son this cool LED mask that he really liked. So I'll just put 100 here and then subtract it from the total Amazon and Target spending. Or sorry, this is all from Amazon, so I'll just subtract $100 because that is probably a little over 100, but I don't feel like going and splitting out every single transaction. So I probably need to just rethink my categories there, because that's frustrating for me. For gas, I'm actually going to do gas/parking this month, and that was altogether $38.08, because I only spent $18 on gas, but we went to a museum and I spent $20 to park at the museum parking deck, which is crazy expensive, but it was a fun trip, and my mom paid for our tickets and she got us a membership pass there, so that's really nice of her, and it was a fun excursion, so no regrets. For eating out, I budgeted $150, and actually we were under budget for eating out, $103.53, so that is good. It's one category we're under. For coffee out, you know what? I did include that in eating out this month, so I'll just put nothing here. It's all combined up there. Again, too many categories, I think. For beauty and bath, I didn't split out that separately this month for anything, so I'm going to put nothing in here. For exercise, I budgeted $0 because I thought my yoga subscription would not renew, but it did, and then they were not able to refund me the amount because they should not charge me again this month, but they did charge me $99 this month again, which is a little frustrating. I do want to take a break from that, especially because of the job instability. I just want to reduce some of those expenses, and I can just go to the gym at my apartment instead. For birthdays, oh my gosh, this is where I went a little crazy. It was two of my sister's birthdays this month, and one of them had a great idea of going to a spa for her birthday, and I was like, let's do it. We went to the spa, and I spent, so for one sister, I spent $75 to contribute to like a group gift we were getting her. And then for the other sister, we went to the spa with three of my sisters all together, and overall, okay, I'm gonna write this number down, although it's making me cringe so bad. I spent 600, this is including the other gift too, $629.91. That is crazy. So there was $100 I pulled out for cash tips for massages and stuff like that. I still have most of that cash in my wallet, but I'm just gonna go ahead and chalk it up here. We only spent like $20 cash on that. There's like the $75 for my other sister's gift, and then the $200 refund my sister sent me over Venmo helps cover a part of that too. So really, out of pocket, it was only $429, but that includes covering my sister's entry fee, a massage for her, a massage for myself, my entry fee, food in their little cafeteria thing they have there, and it was like, okay, so it was a Korean spa, and it was so crazy. It was like, it was a lot of fun. As you can tell by my wild spending, I had fun, but it was really, really out of my budget, and I do regret spending that much, like, kind of impulsively. I did have a great time. I would do part of it again, but I would have to budget for it. That was just really, really out of my comfort zone, but I did it anyway, and that was really dumb. So my bad on that, big time. Yeah, so let's see what else we didn't account for yet. For family activities here, that's kind of been baked into some of the other categories. I didn't spend anything separately just for family activities. Let me just double check my accounting here. Yeah, we didn't do any like particular specific family activities. I did not spend anything for car maintenance. I didn't spend anything on dog care this month. My husband took care of any expenses there. Although I think I did get some bones at Target, which again was in the other transaction, and maybe dog food too. So really, I just suck at accounting. I didn't split everything out line item by line item. So maybe I did spend on dog care, but it's already been cooked into another amount. For vacations, we didn't go anywhere. Now for other, let me subtract out what I spent for other here. So let me take out, so altogether, all of my shopping, I added up separately from birthdays and yoga and gas and eating out, but just shopping stuff altogether was $660.23. Now I've already accounted for the Target run minus 143.29. I've already accounted, and then I've already accounted for the IKEA, so let me subtract that, 142.79. And so we had Target, IKEA, and is that it? Home subscriptions, oh, and the $100 for kids fun. So that leaves me with a leftover other shopping amount of $274.15. Now I went to Pike Place Market. I got some pots and potting soil. That was like $35. My husband got some more vitamins and things, and like light bulbs and random stuff off of Amazon. And that was probably, at least like $50, $60, $70. He also got some like computer RAM for a computer. That was like another $50. And yeah, I think it's just random stuff. I think some of the craft supplies may not have been covered in this. Yeah, just a bunch of random odds and ends, mostly off of Amazon, and I feel like that spending went a little overboard, but again, he did contribute more than I expected, so it kind of balances out a little bit. Let's see how far over budget I went this month. I feel like it was way over. Let's just see. Wow, so I actually spent a total of $2,682.96, which, let's do the differences here.
add it all up. I'm just going to do it off the bottom here.
So we went over budget by $782.96, and I suck at making categories clean, but we basically went over budget on almost everything except for food this month. Definitely overspent for sure, and yeah, I regret that a lot. I regret the spa was fun, but also that is just I felt really guilty after that, and it's just too much. My sisters are awesome. They don't have kids. They can just they have like a great, I don't think they really understand how, like, I mean, I make a lot of money too, and for me, I just need to budget a little bit more than they do. Like, they have a great cost of living compared to me. They bought a house before the whole crazy stock market thing, and they're like living way below their means. So for them, it's like, yeah, okay, a couple hundred here and there, whatever. But for me, it's like actually really impactful on my family's finances. So I shouldn't just get peer pressured into overspending, even though it was a lot of fun. And I'm sure they'll return the favor when it's my birthday. But still, I don't like seeing that crazy amount coming out of my account. So moving on to my favorite category, cash savings. Okay, this shouldn't be 1313. It should have been 18 something. That was how I left off at the end of last month. I did make a payment of $500 into savings, and then there was an auto transfer of $25. And that brings my total cash savings balance to $2,343.14. Let me just subtract that. 2343 minus 500 minus 25. It should have been 18. Dude, sometimes I think I'm dyslexic or something a little bit because my numbers get mixed up in weird ways. But yeah, so now it's 2343, which is a great little additional padding as my husband will be out of work for the next, hopefully not too long, like month or two. Oh my gosh. So hopefully that'll help kind of pad out the next month or two so we don't have a nightmare situation where I have to tap into any of my big savings funds that I'm saving for buying a house and stuff like that. So a little concerning. For 529, I did not contribute anything extra. For stock, the stock market really took a dip this month, so it lost quite a bit of value. It's now worth $17,796.80. Someone mentioned that I may have to pay capital gains when I do cash it out, but unfortunately, this stock has never gone above the value that it was when I first got it. It's never retained the full amount of value, so I don't think I have to pay capital gains in that situation. I already paid taxes on the stock grant, so hopefully that does, I mean, if it does become, I'm happy to do that because it means that it gained enough value that I have to pay capital gains tax, but at this point it's undervalued compared to when, I think it was worth like $23,000 when I first got the stock. So just been sitting in the market, kind of going up and down in value ever since. I'm trying to be patient and just wait this out, and eventually long term it might be a really great investment, or just use it as a house fund if and when we do buy. But interest rates on houses are crazy right now, and we have looked here and there, but I don't want to spend like half of our take-home pay on housing. So I've been really picky about trying to find like a good deal in this market. And then of course, when you look at houses that are a good deal, there's always a trade-off there. Like there's something wrong with the house. So I just haven't really sprung for it, because if we did buy a house, it would most likely be way over what we pay for rent. So for me, it just makes more sense to rent right now, even though we're not accruing equity. But we do have all of our down payment money accruing, interest in high yield savings, and ideally, in the stock market. So, but it's definitely a conflict of mine. Like, I don't know what to do about this. I have kids, I have a dog. I would love to have, like, maybe we could rent a house, but we're in an apartment right now, and there's something about renting someone else's house that makes me feel weirdly uncomfortable. But it would be really practical at the same time. So I have to figure out what we're gonna do there. And also, like, I recently moved back to this area. You know, this is my hometown area from big career cities, Seattle and New York, where I was like really focused on career stuff. And I'm definitely feeling weird about settling back down into like my hometown. I almost feel like kind of uncomfortable about it. Like, so, and especially if I do wind up losing my job in the acquisition, which may or may not happen. Hopefully, God forbid it happens. Hopefully not. But you never know. We may have to move for a job again, and that will be really stressful. But I don't know. Like, this area is not the biggest. Like, I'd have to get either remote work or something in the area, and this area is not the most competitive. Like, it's not the biggest for what I do, working in tech and working with analysis work. It's not the biggest marketplace for that. And I've also been having a lot of thoughts about career stuff. Like, I'm kind of tempted to just like take a wild, right turn into a completely different career path and go for like a second career midlife, because I'm good at what I do, but I also don't really like working in corporate America despite the solid paycheck. So I don't know. I'm just very conflicted right now. I'm having a little bit of a crisis, just a little conflicted about what the best thing to do is. And yeah, I've been thinking about making a video about like the top 10 career choices I would consider, or like top 5, or like top 10 things I wish I did different in my 20s. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been crazy. And I'm a little, whenever things get stressful, I tend to get really escapist about like wanting to just go do something wildly different. So I'm like, what if I become a therapist? That would be so fun and satisfying. I don't know, I've never been. Anyway, I might be completely unrealistic there, but let me stop ranting and write down for high yield checking. Oh my gosh, I didn't write it down. 1 second. Okay, for high yield checking, it is currently at, oh my gosh, 33,878.27, I think it was. So that went up by $100 something because of interest. And again, this is for a house, ideally a house. In the worst possible scenario, I guess it can be an emergency fund, but I really, really, really do not want to spend that money on living expenses. So for 401ks altogether, let me add this up quickly. Altogether, that also went down because of stock market instability. $67,378.24 altogether. And let's add up all of my ending balance. Well, yeah, let's add up all of the ending balances. So that's a total savings ending balance of $121,391.45. And let's do the differences. Basically, my total savings went down by $3,296.31. And that is mostly because the stock market really took a dip this month. So my 401k and my single stock investments also went down. And really, you just have to be patient and wait this stuff out and not panic, because the market is cyclical and it'll go back up eventually. You just have to not mess that up. So, unless everything goes to crap forever and then you have bigger problems to worry about. So So, but at least my cash savings went up on both accounts because I contributed $500 here and I have a good 4 point something interest rate on my Amex high yield savings account. So I feel okay about that. So yeah, altogether, that is my budget this month. And I am left at the end of the month. Let me just write it down for the next video. So I'm going to incorporate this. I'm left with a total balance of $815.02 in my checking account. So yeah, that's it. Hope you have a great October. I'll be back with my October budgeting video. I'll probably reorganize my format a little bit more. And yeah, I am super excited to share more stuff with you guys and make more videos. So talk to you later. Bye.